Hey guys, hey Peter, Mark, William Henry, g'day. I haven't been home from work long. It was one of those sort of days. Need some sign painting work so I can quit the day job, I think. That's where we're at with that. Gotta hustle eventually. Mark Osborne, g'day. I saw your picture on Facebook with some tether cars, which was pretty interesting. Looks like you're back up and racing, so that's pretty awesome. James P, g'day. Bill, Bill set. Must be beer time. And John Creasy. Very good video from John Creasy this week on making a lap, which is quite useful. Dan Shed, g'day. Yeah, Peter, the hassle's a hassle, but you've got to do it. What's happening? Kevin, g'day. Says there's 13 of you here. We got Peter and Mark and William, Henry, Mark Osborne, James P, Bill, John Creasy, Fridge, Kevin. I didn't see the lightsaber. That means I probably got to go back and watch it again. Dan, what have you bought? I expect, I'm not going to share it in the chat, but I expect there's obviously a couple of Easter eggs in John's video that I didn't see. It's a secret, right? Anyway, let's anyway, what's happening? Not much happening here, obviously. We're going to get my backside into gear and actually make some content here or make up something to say. Reading the chat. There's a good video from John anyway. And there was some on the 24th, right? You're still coming, I guess, to help move some portable bits. Don't know. Probably I'm doing it myself. Yes, Mark had a new video last night. I watched it all through, but yeah, I probably wasn't paying a lot of attention. We'll talk about that, Dan. I'll get that sorted. Yeah, spreading gravel's probably more important. Anyway, what have I done this weekend? Sunday, right? Took a load of portable engine parts down the inner firebox and the ash pan and the girder trays for the crown. What else was in that pile? The smoke box and chimney, which is a bit of a wreck. Bucket of rivets. Water pump. A few bits like that. Outback check, good day. Ash pan was there, sort of. Come back through Sunday night and picked up another load, which is still in the van. We could go and have a look at that, except it's dark and raining outside, and I really can't. Sorry, I've got to unlock about 5 doors to get through there, and if we go out, you won't be able to see anything anyway because it's dark and I haven't got a torch, etc. Not organised, but there's a load of wheels, portable engine wheels, and a 4-carriage in the van at the moment out the front, and that'll go back down on Sunday, I guess, all going well. And then I guess I've got to get another load sometime, and I might give it a miss this weekend. I'm not sure. At some point. I'm feeling pretty stretched thin at the moment, and work's pretty ordinary. I'll probably feel better tomorrow. Anyway, that's what I did on Sunday. Yeah, we've had some rain. Monday and Tuesday were wet and miserable, so I sort of sat out the back and did a little bit to this, like this part. Had a bit of work done to it. Finished the car. It's a lighter green than it was. A bit of detail on it. Not sure it's 1000% finished. Finished the plane. I think that's sort of there. Yeah, we'll see. Sorted out these 2 green paddocks. Put this signpost in here that's going to say Launceston and Hobart, and probably some grass growing around here to get rid of this road line here. Put the steering wheel in, and the front window, I think, and change this colour down a bit. Sorted out the top, folded down there. Put a red line around it in a box here on the bottom. This isn't thin, it's actually a reflection. It's actually shiny, I think. Yeah, it's a reflection of that bottle. It moves. So this is still very tacky. I put another coat on the outside here. Notice that it's a little bit thin just here on the red line. I only noticed that tonight, that somewhere here is starting to show through, but I might fix that. So, pretty impressed with these lines through here. I think that's pretty tidy, really. Not that anyone's particularly interested in that, but this is going to say Launceston Airport Motor Hotel, Western Junction, Tasmania, something like that. Whether I actually put a list of amenities like a bathroom, bed, and all that stuff, you know, on here in a white. I'm not sure. We'll see. And then it needs a coat of varnish on it and it's done. So I'm pretty impressed with that sort of progress. I've spent a total of probably 2 days on it, all up, because I spent about 3 hours on Monday and probably about the same on Tuesday, to be honest. So that's a day, and then a day the week before. So probably another half a day or something. Yeah, flushing toilets, that sort of stuff. Water closets. Lockable doors. Bathrooms. Anyway, yeah, I think putting some nice writing on it, it'll come up nice and look like a sort of a French 1930s French poster. That's sort of the idea of it. And towels 5 cents. Coat of varnish on it, and that's ready to go. But it's looking all right. If I was going to put something here, I'd varnish a lot first, because this is only water-based, and lettering, putting smaller lettering on what's basically latex house paint or latex interior paint. It's a bit dry and porous and not real smooth, so you're going to find that's a fairly difficult thing to letter. So if I decide to do that, if I work out what I'm going to put there and whether it's going to fit, I'm probably going to varnish it first. Anyway, that's what I did. That was some of Monday and Tuesday. But I think it's probably, if I take a step back, I could probably take another step back. I think it's got the makings of a pretty good sort of a bit of interior art for someone. Anyway, it's getting there. Got to wait for it really to dry, because this line here is not straight, and I've really got to put a line across there to paint to, and I can't do that until everything dries. So it's going to be Saturday or Sunday or Monday or something before it's, probably Monday before it's dry enough to do any more to. Still don't know what these are off, but there's 2 of them and they're finished pretty well. These are not looking terrible. We've got one of those, and for some bizarre reason there's 2 different size ones. So they're saying one's a bit shorter, or one's got external bolts, and one's got internal bolts or something, I don't know. This one on the bottom's the same, except it's a bit longer on the ends. So that's another job I spent probably way too much time getting right. It's not a particular, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's not a particularly good model. This one's at least got, if we can focus that, come on, focus. Focus. This one's at least got a round corner around here, so it will release from the mould. Someone obviously left it out or decided it wasn't important or something on this one. Still got a square corner. So that's going to be a bit of a dog of a thing to get out in the mould nicely, but anyway, probably. There are other little problems with this 3D model that's not straight up apparent. 8-valve Triumph head rocker covers. That's what they are, apparently. There you go. Probably they are. Anyway, so that's ready to go. I should have got them there this week, Tuesday, but it was too wet and I was too miserable and I couldn't be bothered. Hey, Mats. There's one for you, Mats. motorbike bits. So that was Tuesday too. Today I went to work catching the train because the train's only 50 cents a trip at the moment for 6 months, which is really nice. So I caught the train. I was going to catch a train a week, but it looks like I've got to go and get some AstroTurf or something for Dan tomorrow or Saturday, Friday. So if it's a nice day, a nice morning tomorrow, I'll go. If it's not a nice morning, I'll catch the train and I'll go Friday whether it's nice or not. That's what I've decided. So I don't think it's actually AstroTurf, but yeah, something nice from around the pool. Is that the wrong chat about the last cheap trip? Yeah, 2 days isn't a bad effort. So there are things we've done. I've got a wooden box that these lamps might go in. I've been messing around. I've probably ordered some parts tentatively at some point in the past for making usually those sort of trips are the last ones anyone has. You usually don't end on a good trip. I got some corn cob lights and 12-volt LED gel cobs, fairly big ones. They're replacements for downlight globes. They're sort of, I think they're about that long and about that diameter with 18 or something LEDs in them, 12 volt, which go in basically in a downlight fitting. And then just a ceramic downlight fitting. And I've got some I've thought about, or I'm probably going to get some LiPo batteries to run them and put it all in a box so that we've got 12-volt light in these rather than the stinking old burners. I've got a nice wooden box that I think these will fit in the 3 of them, which would be very nice. And then everything's put away and transportable and easy to find and all that stuff. So we're working on that. But the wooden box is black and it probably could do with a coat of paint and paint it to match the roller or something, you know. Anyway, that's another thing we're working on. It all must be a time. I've organised with my mate John Pettit to blue, I think. Chemically blue for you, James. This piece on the thread cutting attachment, this piece and this piece here. So I'm going to blue them, I think, and probably the end piece here. So this piece, like this rocker arm, and this piece is going to be blued, and the rest will leave bright. But before we do that, we still need to put a couple of pins in here, one here and one here, with threads on the end, to put some sort of cover on. So I've been giving that some thought too. I've spent a little bit of time thinking about that. I have given that some thought too. So that's something else we're working on. There's something else I'd like to get done. Is basically cut a piece of cardboard and work out which arrangement I must have turned my wrist over. There you go. The torch comes on. Which arrangement, which gear retainer, which thread makes this stick out the furthest and how far out we want it to stick. So that whatever we have around the front here clears it. Whether we actually have something around the front, I don't know. Whether we just have a plate on the back with a return on it or what, I don't know. But probably it's going to have launch cast in it or something like that, nice and straight. Whether we bring it out past, I think you've got to. You could probably leave a hole for this one and this one, which don't move. But this could be anywhere in this gap here, this area here, when you adjust these up. So they could be anywhere. So you can't really do that. So I think it's got to come out past these nuts, if anyone's following. I'm sure that's very clear, which is about here somewhere. Which gets a bit of bulk on it, but means that it's also got to have a fair bit of return on here if you're going to sort of stop things going in the gears. Also means the studs have got to be like 60mm long there to stick out that far, 70mm. Bulks it up. Also means that this doesn't stick out so far either and look ugly. But I think it'll only come down to about, well, basically it won't stick out any further than this on the back, so we can come down to here. And on the front, if we put two 82 gears, I don't think it sort of hangs out any further than here, probably looking at it. So whether so if we put 80 on here or 100 tooth gear, don't know. I'm still not feeling this, and I had to talk with John about it sort of momentarily on Tuesday when I went and talked to him. And there's like, you've got to actually make something to see what works and what doesn't, because if you're not very clear on it and you don't make a start, you'll never ever get it. It'll just sit there like that. So I think the answer is to put a tapped hole here and a tapped hole here for two studs. I don't believe this one here, can we even see that? Sorry guys. See, it's James's fault. Blame James for this. Here we go. Let's try some light. This one here is fixed, so that works on the tumbler, so none of that's going to change. But this one here, if we get the spanner, this one here, we can put an 80-tooth gear on. I'm not sure why you would, except for very, very fine threads. I don't know if it'll try to work or not, but if we put that on, give me a second. There's an 80-tooth gear. Right, which is a bit unusual, but it doesn't give you much clearance here on the back, which is probably a design feature, a design problem. If we look here, there's not really enough room here for a stud. There's enough room there, but we can't really put one there. Maybe we can, but that's where it needs to be, is right on the edge there. And then if we take this off and put the 21 or whatever it is back on there, when we put the stud back in here, there's quite a lot of clearance there. So, I don't know, I'm not feeling like it's a very smart idea. You could put 2 studs here, but if you put one too low here, what happens is that when this comes out here, it's got to go. It won't work. You can't do that. You've got to put it up here. So nothing really works particularly well. That's where we're at. I don't know what to do about that. I don't know how to fix it. We could probably put a slide here and a thumb screw on the back to I'll move some light over here so you can see. Put a thumb screw here or on here somewhere so you can put a slide through. But like a piece of flat that runs in a slide. And you could do the front on the same on the front somewhere. But the other thing is, Peter, and you're right on, is to redesign this banjo and put a guard on that, right? If we put the guard off the banjo, right, then it swings around with it. It just doesn't seem like it's a particularly easy thing to put a guard on. That's why it has never been done. That's where we're at with it. Don't really have an answer for that. If we look at it, it's quite an organic shape in here. I don't think you can put anything on here. Maybe you could make a cast piece that sits in there, but it's not really the answer. I don't have an answer for it really. And I think wherever you put studs here, the more I look at it, wherever you put studs here, they're going to get in the way. One here and one here. You could probably put it up here, and that might be all right if we stuck one here. Right? Because that select arm moves. And if we lock this up, we can't. Oh, this one's loose anyway. Right. It's not really a one-handed job. If we loosen that one off and slide this one, and this one too, these both slide down, and then we can put this one on here if we needed to. I don't know why you would probably want to. Unless you're looking for really fast feed speed, or you're cutting big coarse threads maybe. See, this one goes on here. And if we do that, then there's only just enough room here to put an 82 on there. So that's one location that would work. The other location, I think, probably has to be down here or over here, like here or here. And I'd like to put something in the middle there, but I just don't feel like. See if we put this on here. Right. Now this is fixed here. So if we put a stud in, and this is actually a thread cutting tool, we can't put a stud there because this shaft goes through, and we can't really put a stud anywhere here. But what we could do is make a bracket and bolt it off there like that, which would probably work, but it's going to look a bit ugly unless we sort of make something nice. The other thing we could do, because nothing comes in close to here, is put a bracket on there and thread the stud into that with 2 little bolts. That might work too. And that would bring it nicely off here like this. So that's where we're at. That's, to answer your question, that's where I'm sort of procrastinating this whole thing at the moment. Don't know what to do. I guess the first thing to do is cut out a piece of cardboard. I mark these, cut out a piece of cardboard that's going to fit on there and attach it with a couple of magnets or whatever and cut around it, see what it looks like, draw around it. William, this is a Launch model A2, right, with various modifications. It's not particularly standard on any level. Bit of a history on this. Everyone's heard this probably, but this Launch here with the headstock, tailstock, 1920s, mid-20s, late 20s. There we go. Saddle. Slide. It's also Launch, 60s, late 60s. So very good slide on that. Right. Brand new Multifix toolbar, still fairly new. Chinese copy of. This gearbox on here that I've built is last year, or was it this year? Last year. Before Christmas, I think I built this. This guard here, I think is this year we've worked on that and built it. This guard's not factory. This is something we've made. It's still a work in progress. It'll happen. There's bits to go on there on this machine surface. It's going. Thread cutting attachment's been built over the last 4 or 5 years. So that all works, and there's a drive from here to here, which we've still got to do something about. I have something, but it's not ideal as yet. So they're all things. It's overhead drive. I guess you've all seen that. I would like very much to put a back gear system in this pulley. At some point that might happen. It's also reversible here on these pulleys, so it's everything going, and there's nothing in the way. We could start it. It's 3-phase for the VFD, and these 2 pulleys, one of them runs backwards, which is really interesting because one of them's got a cross in it. Probably be a very good idea to oil this. I'm going to do that before we mess around with it too much. Sorry guys. I've got a mess. Oh, good. So, we'll slide this way. Except someone's probably done a job on that. Hang on, let's find a screwdriver and fix it, because that's got a... Hey, Stuart. That's actually got a temporary failsafe here to stop us slamming it into reverse. So let's go to like anyway, that's neutral. If we go this way, that's reverse, it's running backwards. If we go the other way, it's running forward. So there you go. So that's how that works. There's William Henry. There is an overview of the launch belt system. I would like very much a 2-to-1 or something back here and here. Well, the feeds and speeds of the wire brush. The wire brush is very useful sometimes. We try not to look at that. That's how that works. And this is this will eventually, like, this is all a work in progress. It's one of those jobs that over the last 15, 20 years that I've owned this machine, I bought it as a wreck. Basically, it was a bed and a tailstock and a headstock that was a mess, no bearings, no nothing in it, and turned it into pretty much back into a decent precision lathe. Like, it is a really good machine now. Journeyman Randy, g'day. But it's a work in progress. Another thing that I have in progress is to put pedals down here on the ground so that we can forward and reverse it with a lockout to stop it going backwards, like an interlock gate, so that you don't reverse it when you don't want to. But the reversing is very good for thread cutting with this system. So at some point there will either be like a 2 pulleys and a chain feed, maybe to run it backwards and forwards, or a rack, or a little square box with a Art Deco style top on it and 2 solenoids or something like that, so that electric probably is a smart way, so that it speaks to the pedals. We could run 2 rods up through the bench and 2 little levers, like 2 little cantilevers here. That's probably the simple way. It's messy. It looks great, and I think it's sort of, there's a little bit of art in that too, which I really like. So lever so that this one kicks this way and this one kicks this way. Trouble is with the VFD, Adam, is that the thing's not instant reverse, and that's what I really wanted, and this is. But there's several ways that you could do this. I've got a book called 1001 Mechanical Mechanisms or something. It's got 1,000 ways you could do this. It's got 500 ways anyway you could do this. We could attach a chain here and a chain here and 2 sprockets on a centre and pull one way and one the other way, and have 2 chains that work on the pedals. That would probably work. We could organise a rack on here and 1 pulley and basically a lever system, so you pull this down and that moves it far enough to travel. We could do something like a swash plate sort of a thing with slotted holes in it that work on a pin. there's lots of really ornate, nice things we could do, and I'm just still tossing up what I'm actually going to do. At some point, I'm probably going to draw it out and just start and make it. I don't know. This has got tools all stacked up here in toolboxes. I would like to put a proper cantilever front tool chest here for chucks and things next to this pulley. If we have a look, don't know if you can see that. There's a motor and a pulley here and a big flat pulley there. Functionality is secondary. Yeah, it's got to be a little bit artistic. You could have put some art into it. This is not the original bench. These are legs I picked up, and this is a 30mm bamboo bench on it. Anyway, that's, except for the functionality and the chips and things, bike chains through it is really the thing that I would really like to do, but I'm not sure it's going to work. So levers are complicated and difficult to make work. Still thinking about it. Yeah, a little bit of filler, like a plate down the front here with cast in pattern and launch cast in it or something to put the pedals on, something like that, and the levers behind it. That's what I'm thinking. Got lots of old catalogues with those sort of things in it. I haven't really got any ideas such. Also needs, as a matter of some urgency, and that's probably going to be one of the next pieces, is a guard around this hole where the belts go through, because I lose bits down that hole, and that's a bit of a problem. Solenoids to shift this backwards and forwards. If we could get something that's open and steampunky and shellacked copper coils and things, that would be really nice on there. And I would seriously think about that. Something with the Japan black, and if I could design something like that pops them backwards and forwards. And it's only momentary contact because it doesn't move much. There's no travel in the belts. Once it's in gear, it's in gear. So it's only got to pop it one way or the other. It's not going to ever creep. So a box with something on there and a brass plate on it or whatever, you know how I do things. That's the thought. So it's really a project lathe rather than an actual functioning machine tool at the moment. It does a lot of good work and is capable of doing some good work, but it's a work in progress too. That aluminium casting there, which is a bit complicated, that's something we need as a matter of course. It's too big to 3D print, or I'd have one, but we need something made up out of. Whether I just make a top or bottom frame and wrap a piece of aluminium around it and rivet a launch badge on it, or whether I actually make something solid out of cast, which would be better in aluminium. The hard way, that's usually the way I do it. Anyway, that's where we're at with the launch. It's James P's fault because he brought the subject up like he always does, and I thought, well, I just say what I've actually been doing, and I've been messing a little bit with ideas. I come in here and sit down and look at it and give up, but ideas on this guard and ideas on that guard. This guard I'm pretty well impressed with. I really like this. This is a 3D print that's been aluminium cast. It's got bit of nice shape in it, and at some point it's going to have a box on it for taco, so that's that. But it's got to kick up, because if you make it out straight it interferes with this shaft here, so I'm still Jury's still out on that. What would be nice is to put the tacho somewhere else and just have the control box here that's very thin and flat, that doesn't stick out any further than that. But when you're doing a redesign, Adam, we'll talk about that. I don't know. So off one of these brackets will be a tacho sensor anyway. It'll also be very useful to have this as a counter. Another function that would be good on a tacho is a revolution counter. So if you're winding springs, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and stop and then do the next one the same. Because then it's always, you've got uniformity there, and that's kind of nice. So they're all things that we're thinking about. Anyway, you've got me on this subject and I haven't shut up for an half hour. I'm sorry, guys, but it's one of my pet subjects, and anyone who asks stupid questions or intelligent questions or whatever about this probably gets a long and complicated answer, because that's the only sort I have. This script on here I'd like very much on that guard on the back, and probably on the end here somewhere. I'm not sure about that, and maybe down here if we make an actual panel to go down here. Yeah, Dan's good with stupid questions. That's all right. We like him. I'm good with questions. I'm just not particularly fantastic with a lot of answers, really. I don't have answers. I'm messing with this. These holes here are not accidental. They're intentional, because what we discovered is that there's no way to hold this upside down to machine the inside, because it's all tapered. So what I've done is bolted this block on here to hold it in the vise, and took them out, and I've blocked these holes up where it was threaded. So that's why it's got 2 holes there, but they'll be covered up eventually. Another job I picked up is a Harley Davidson mirror. Needs a clean, but I'm trying to think about making an inspection mirror. I think that's the easy one to make, an inspection mirror. Put a selfie stick or something on it. It already swivels. So that's another job that I'm thinking about, because I need more projects. Yeah. So mag base might be all right, but really I just want something for looking inside boilers. That's kind of where we're at with that. I think Joe's out there playing Grand Theft Auto, if you're really wondering what all the noise is in the background. So if I put a piece down the front here, have a look here, a piece down the front with 2 pedals off it in the middle, which is what it really wants. And I do have a couple of very nice cast lattice pedals, I believe, that Stuart has put away for me down there in Tasmania, that I've got to go and get at some point. And sort of a piano frame piece here, a bit wider on the bottom, and then about 5 inches wide up here, right, with brackets or whatever for levers or anything on the back of that in behind. Then probably at some point we can put some sort of a guard on that motor and everything too, because for 20 years it hasn't had it. Problem solver and egg. Nice to have problem solvers. I never ever put a guard on these 2 pulleys, Right, it's got 2 plumber blocks here. If we have a look, probably you can see that. Maybe if I focus it. I'll try to focus it. Yeah, 2 plumber blocks and a paper pulley, a long paper pulley for grip. It's parallel. And then it's got a 16-inch pulley and a 3-inch pulley to give me the speed ratios to get where I want to be. I've never ever put a guard on this, and I think I'll just put basically a wooden toolbox or a metal toolbox in this side. Anyway, that's what's happening in between all the other stuff. Dollars permitting. You don't have both. If you've got dollars, you haven't got time, and if you haven't got time, you really don't have dollars. So it sits here and it gets used fairly regularly. It's a good machine, but all this stuff here has been built and it sort of needs finishing. That's where we're at. Need to spend some time on it. Put these nuts back on so they don't get lost. There's actually probably a real live video about this. On my YouTube channel if you want to go and deep dive it. But it's been quite a job, and I don't think there's actually any. This is Tumbler Select. Have a look. If anyone's even a little bit interested who hasn't seen it before. Put all these back. Put this one on here so the key doesn't fill up with dirt. So this has got a central position here, just with a plunger. A central position. This is adjustable, and these are all adjustable, so you can actually get pretty good sort of backlash adjustment. But this has got 2 tumblers basically, and if you connect with this one to this one, it runs that way, and if you connect this one, it's got a reverse in it. So that's one way, and that's the other way, depending on what gear ratio you've got. And then this banjo has all these levers in here. They're actually designed so you only need one spanner or one hand to actually open them and slide them up and down. Probably. So and that drives through here, which is a 1-to-1 gearbox that gives you an offset to the same direction. So basically that drives you through a dog clutch there. And hopefully this will have a knockout system for eventually for power feed. Anyway, that's that. I've sort of bored you silly on that. It probably makes a pleasant change from stupid sign panels and oil lamps and steam rollers, which is mostly where we're at with this channel, unfortunately, because Emma's not actually doing actual workshop work at the moment, which is a bit slack. So apologies. I would take you out and show you what's in the back of the car, but I don't think you'll be able to see anything. Also, Dan's discovered this week that basically for flies it spies and birds aren't real, and Nixon did away with them all and substitute all the pigeons and things with robots. So that's just a new concept that he's dealing with, but he's getting there, and he'll be a better person when he works it out. Bats. Bill, bats. Adam's a bit of an expert on this one, so I'll let him take that one. Anyway, that's where we're at. Someone who watched the stream last week asked me about this, and if they've got to this point in the stream again, this is a Paul Breach little brother hit and miss engine. They're vintage castings. From at the latest, the 90s probably earlier. I'm building it up. It needs a bit of work, but we're getting there. I got in and had a bit of a go at it sort of last year, and I probably will have another go at it this year, I hope. And 2 or 3 more goes like that, it might actually run. So that's that. Anyway, we're nearly an hour, and I really appreciate everyone tuning in. Sorry if I'm boring. Really appreciate you listening. It's awesome. We've actually got several more people than we did before when we started, so that's probably more a sign of people's insanity than my actual content. Anyway, it's about all the... What names are going on the signs? Right. This is a hotel poster, right? Or it's a hotel sign. The brief was, it's for a panel swap. For a bunch of sign writers. So this is the first year I've really been into it, and I'm feeling like I'm sort of punching above my weight. I'm really not feeling like it's going to be the best one in the whole panel swap, because some of the guys are really good and professional sign painters for 30 years. And I'm only a professional sign painter for about 12 months. So I've been messing with it for 10 years by the look of my Facebook timeline, but I'm only sort of starting to get there now. Anyway, it's going to have Launceston Airport Motor Hotel, I think, across there. And then it's going to have Western Junction, Tasmania. Right? That's basically what it's going to have on that panel, like a French hotel poster. It's probably going to have sort of a amenities list on here, like for example, heated rooms, whatever it goes on here. Extended parking, whatever. I have to have a think about that. These signs here, Launceston and Hobart, simple as that. That's what it's going to have. I think if I put something here, though, I'm going to have to varnish it first. We already said that, I think. So that's probably next, is to actually run some varnish on it when all this is done. So a matter of putting the road signs on here and some grass around here so that the bright, sharp line there's gone. Just finish the little things. Like I haven't second coated this strap along the bottom because it was touching on the easel. So I need to turn it over and second coat that when this is all dry. Probably second coat this brown panel, or red panel, the Indian red. And then, hey Chirp, and then coat of varnish on it and some writing and send it off. So that's cool. They're starting to come in now, and I'm starting to see on the group a few of the jobs that people have done, and some of them are really nice. But it's difficult. It had to have hometown in it, and it had to be a motel poster from somewhere before 1970. So I've gone for something that's 1930s rather than something that's sort of 1965. Hey, Chip. Dan's going to take up breakdancing. I really don't think. See, to me, breakdancing is sort of the place it ends, and the spot that in Australian history that breakdancing become good and bad was sort of within about 5 years. And the two people that made that possible were Guido Hatzis, if you're familiar with Guido Hatzis and his body of work, who actually threw his back out doing electric boogaloo, and Kath Day Knight. If you're familiar with Kath Day Knight, you're also probably quite capable of breakdancing. So they're the two people that made Australian breakdancing good. And as far as I'm concerned, it hasn't progressed anything since about 1992. So that's my take on breakdancing. I think it's a travesty to even entertain the idea that we can still breakdance in Australia. And I think that that's been proven very, very clearly in the last week or so. And if they'd sent Guido Hatzis, there would have been no problems at all. Just saying. If they'd sent Kath Day Knight, probably there wouldn't have been any issues either. Very interesting point that both these people are from Melbourne or lived in Melbourne. So obviously that's the break dancing capital of the world at some point in our history, which is really interesting. Probably a lot to do with the birds, I would say. Anyway, I'm going to go, guys. Thanks heaps. Really appreciate you tuning in. It's good to catch up with you all. It's awesome to see content that you're putting up. Good to see stuff actually being done, because I'm not one of those people. Honestly, I probably should make content, but at the moment I've got paint everywhere, and I've got to get this finished before the end of the month. And then maybe there'll be some videos, but maybe there won't either. I'd like to get some more done on this so I can actually got something to show you. Anyway, anyone who's not from Australia, that was probably all double Dutch, but Kath Day Knight, probably should look up Kath Day Knight with a hyphen and a K, Day Knight, Kath, Kath, and breakdancing, because it's really good stuff. And you probably should look up Guido, Guido, Hatzis, Hatzis, breakdancing, because they're the two things that stand out to me in the history of world breakdancing. Anyway, Dan, it only burns where it touches. Anyway, I'm out. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I'll take another load down. I think there's pictures on Discord if you really want to see what portable engine wheels look like. And I can't go out there because there's no lights and you're not going to see anything. And we'll catch you around. Thanks, guys. I'm out.